every country, the companies, in the either in the first block or second block or third block are under the pressure not to make a contract with the other companies in the adversarial block. But now the world has been changed. This is also the part of the globalization too. So like any countries who are interested have a particular satellite company, they are free to make a contract. So that had happened between the China and a lot of Middle Eastern countries, or China and a lot of African countries. And also the most of countries are trying to make a contract with either US or the Russia commercial satellite company, private companies. So this is how this field is emerging and developing. The second part is, which I will just briefly mention about that, because this field is a little bit too big. But second field that causes regional conflict and cooperation is environmental issue. So climate change is one of the issue that, but the other, pollution that is that may be emerged in one country, but then it can be spread into the other, neighboring countries, is a major source of the conflict in specific region. For example, in South Korea, there has been a discussion that how the South Korea's air quality has been decreased, and what is the reason. And there was in domestic discussions like probably it may not be only related to the domestic industry of South Korea, but since that there is the airstream from the other neighboring countries, so probably we need to look into the other neighboring countries that is having giant industrial park and so on. So anyway, the problem is that the world is getting warmer. So you can see the now selected average temperature that has been increased, and you can see the most of part in the world that the average temperature is now increasing a lot. So there may be a variation of the increase of the temperature, but one is very much sure that world temperature is generally increasing. So because of the climate change, that there is a kind of the people are concerned about the impact of the global climate change. And you can see that there was a poll and done in the 2020. So most of the people in the world are concerned about the climate change. That may be because of the people can feel the climate change, because when there was some strange phenomena happened, sometimes that a really big heat wave just struck some of the Western European countries. So in France, for example, last year or 2 years ago, that there was a lot of people just died because of the heat wave. And also that the level of sea level is increasing. So the UN and other climate related NGOs warned Maldives to have some kind of substantial plan, because after 5 decades or 6 decades, the Maldives may lose most of its territory. So a lot of people are having different concerns, but most of them are related to the global climate change. So countries are proposing different portfolios not to use coals and crude oils, but to use reusable energy sources. So one of the issues beyond the climate change is pollution. That is related to the environment, and all the science technology related to the contamination and the pollution are now increasing very much. And actually till today, many people are thinking that, yeah, people are dying because of the war and insurgency and local conflict and so on. But actually, there is a number of concerned issues related to the air pollution. So this is the just survey that how many people are dying per 100,000 people. So Afghanistan and Pakistan and India, like all three major South Asian countries, are heavily damaged by the air pollution, and also the China and in the Middle East, that also air pollution is a big issue. So you may hear about now, everybody is familiar with the air purifier. Air purifier is another controversial item because the manufacturing the air purifier is also may cause another environmental pollution, but people are very much concerned about that. So in South Korea, for example, a lot of people are trying to buy the air purifier because of the air pollution. But some like Pakistan and Afghanistan, those who are less developed are not cannot afford that that much. So actually, the people are innocent about damaging the innocent are actually damaged very much. So many countries are concerned about this climate change and impact on the climate change. So regarding to the climate change, so a lot of countries are expecting at least China should be a big player for the Paris Climate Agreement, and also the China, US, and India actually. So all these countries are known to contribute, for the climate change in a negative way. So they are all called and all requested to reduce the CO2 emission. But still, you can see that Paris Climate Change Agreement did not work much. So you can see the environmental technology, since we are talking about the science and technology. So environmental technology includes the environmental technology, green technology, clean technology, and so on. All these terminologies can be interchangeably used. So this is the technology to solve the environmental problems, including the carbon scrubbing filters or waste reduction technologies, water purification machines, and so on. And there is another technology that to preserve the environment for sustainable development. So that includes the renewable energy resources, wave power, solar energy, and so on. So one technology is related to generate the energy. Another technology is related to reducing the pollution level. So major proposal and the major campaign is conducted by the UN Environmental Program. So you can see the details here. There are some program that has been designed for a specific country, like promoting low carbon transport in India. But there are also some of the project that is widely applied, like Global Forest Watch and so on, or the Ocean Data Viewer. So because of that, the UN actually demand a lot of financial contribution from the other countries, all the member countries, in fact. So the UN environmental program is going on, and the UN also support to develop the environmental friendly technologies too. So one of the issues are going on in Asia is UN launched Pilot Asia Pacific Climate Technology Network and Finance Center. So UNEP, this program, and the Asian Development Bank working partnership to pilot the Climate Technology Financial Center in Manila. So this is co-funded by some of the institutions like Global Environment Facility, South Korea, Japan, and the other research institute. So this is how the pilot center is going on. And Actually, through this pilot program, the UNEP expects to have some kind of result, which can be another driving force to launch another program. So the main point to deal with these issues are, science and technology is all related to our life, and now many countries have a different portfolio, the where to invest, how to invest much more in the specific field, because developing technology requires a lot of financial resources. So this is an interesting, graph here that there was a survey to ask people in the various European countries, like, will you choose the environment or the economy? So a share of adults saying protecting the environment should be given priority over the economic growth. So you can see in the Netherlands, there was a 50-50, like environment is important, but economic growth is also important. Similar, the trend has happened in the Belgium, Germany, but if you see the Romania, Spain, Italy, then these countries, people living in these countries believe that preserving the environment is more important than the economic growth. So that is this is not only showing the division polarization of the opinion, but also this opinion is similarly happening in Asia or the Middle East or South Asia or the Africa at the same time. So there is a big debate in all the countries, like if a government want to invest a lot of money for developing the green technology, for example, developing the green technology takes a lot of time, at least several years or the decade. The in between that, the people demand, okay, we want to have the higher economic growth, and then let's talk about the environmental later. So all these discussions and domestic arguments are driving a country to redesign their national portfolios, and also the trend is can be applied to the regional institutions and all the global institutions too. But anyway, the talking about the green technology and the clean energy technology is now on the main table in many countries. So you can see another graph here, how South Korea perceives on the environmental problem. So, uh, the South Korea perceives that the most important critical actually environmental problem is air pollution, because every year the South Korean people are suffered because of air pollution. So that there are always recurring discussions every year about how to solve the air pollution, and that has been one of the main discussions even for during the presidential election sometimes. And the second one and third one is waste management and radioactive waste. How to manage the radioactive waste is a main problem. So this graph only shows about the perceptions among the South Korean, but many other countries also, perceive the similar issues with a little different variation. But waste management and radioactive management, climate change, water pollution are the main key items to discuss in many countries. So, like here I have shown you about the preference in many countries in the Europe, how they prefer the environmental preservation or the economic growth. And the similar survey also has been done in South Korea. So how you think about the environmental preservation versus economic growth. And you can see that there is also trend, and then there is a conflict of opinion in the South Korea too, that some are arguing that, and then most of people are having the postgraduate degree, then they tend to give an opinion that, South Korea need to put more investment to preserve the environment. But but the view may be differently, perceived, about the education level of the education, or the political, preference. If the person is having a conservative view, then probably the economic growth is more important. If a country has, if a person has a liberal view, then they tend to give opinion that preserving the environment is more sustainable item to develop a country. So these are the graph. I will just skip it over. You can have a look later. But what I can say overall here is South Korea, how poorly it actually contribute to preserve the global environmental issues, and also Japan is also rated very low, and insufficient, putting insufficient effort for the preserving the environment. And China is the one of the key countries that it is often blamed for the greenhouse gases and so on. So this actually graph shows that how the air pollution during the winter in 2015 is shaped with the graphic, and you can see the since the Chinese government is maintaining the export-oriented, economy, and a lot of giant industrial park has been structured and established. So the air pollution is mostly impacting on China, and this graph also excludes a similar situation in South Asia, but the air pollution is the major issue in East Asia anyway. So all these countries like South Korea, Japan, and China are sometimes blamed altogether. China is blamed the most, but all these other countries like South Korea, Japan are also blamed sometimes that they are not putting enough effort to preserve the environment. But all these countries at least invest heavily to develop green technology and environmental technology. So this is the one is in the article. So I recommend you to read about this article, how this article analyzed on the green regionalism. This is a critical one to understand about the regional cooperation and conflict, and green technology and so on. So let me stop my so let me start my talk, and okay, so finally I think we give me a minute. Okay, so actually, we initially we had several presenters, but due to some of the personal difficulties, we have two presenters today. So after taking a break, let's take a short break, like 10 minutes, and let's invite two presenters today.